All right, let's dive deep into the world of numbers. And I know numbers. How exciting can that be? But trust me on this one, it's a pretty wild ride. We're going to be looking at a specific sequence of numbers that pops up in some seriously unexpected places, like we're talking necklaces, polynomials, and even the codes that help protect your digital data. And guess what? It's all connected. You won't believe how.
It really shows you how something simple, like a string of beads, can unlock some really deep mathematical ideas.
Exactly. So we're talking about sequence A00000048 from the online encyclopedia of integer sequences. Think of it like a massive, massive library of fascinating number sequences. And this one is a star. So could you break down what this sequence actually represents to kick things off?
All right, so imagine you're making necklaces with beads, and these beads come in two different colors.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Two colors.
So this A000048, it actually tells you how many unique necklaces you can make if you have n beads.
Okay, with n beads, right?
But of course, there are a few rules. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a deep dive, right?
It wouldn't be any fun without some twists.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. What are the rules?
Okay, so first rule. The necklace can't have a repeating pattern within those n beads. We call this having a primitive period of n.
Got it. So no simple repeating patterns. What's next?
Second rule is this. Imagine that necklace is glued to a piece of paper. You can't flip it over, so the orientation matters.
Okay, fixed orientation. I got it. What's the last rule?
Last rule. The colors are interchangeable. So if you were to swap all the red beads for blue beads and vice versa, it's still considered the same necklace.
All right, so to recap, we're basically looking for unique arrangements of these two colors. They're in a circle, no repeating patterns within that circle, and we can't flip it. That's pretty specific. Can you give me a visual? Let's say a necklace with just a few beads.
Sure. Let's say you have 5 beads, and to represent the colors, we can just use 0 and 1.
All right, makes sense.
So with 5 beads, there are only 3 unique necklaces you can make. You'd have 00001, then 00111, and 010 and 11. And that's it. No matter how you rotate them or flip them, you won't get another unique combination.
Okay, I see, yeah. Each one of those sequences is a totally unique necklace. And this is where my brain starts to melt a little bit, because we started with this simple little craft project. And now you're telling me this has connections to some pretty heavy-duty math.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This sequence, it's not just about pretty necklaces, as fun as those are. It turns out that it also counts the number of something called binary irreducible polynomials of degree and with a trace of...
Hold on. Binary irreducible polynomials. Now that sounds like it's straight out of a university math textbook. Can you break that down for us regular folk?
Sure. So first of all, a polynomial is just an expression with variables and coefficients, like x naught plus 2x plus 1 put.
Okay, I vaguely remember that from school.
So in a binary polynomial, the coefficients can only be 0 or 1, kind of like our necklace beads.
Okay, I see the connection.
Now, an irreducible polynomial is a bit like a prime number. You can't factor it down into simpler polynomials.
So they're kind of like the building blocks of other polynomials.
You got it. And the trace of a polynomial, that's just the sum of its coefficients except for the first one. So basically, we're talking about these special polynomials where the sum of those coefficients, excluding the first one, adds up to 1.
So let me get this straight. The same sequence that counts these funky necklaces also counts these special polynomials.
Exactly.
That's wild. And it doesn't stop there, does it?
It does not. A000048 also counts the number of, get this, binary irreducible self-reciprocal polynomials of a certain degree.
Hold on, I need to catch my breath. Self-reciprocal polynomials. What in the world are those?
Think of a palindrome, like a word that reads the same backward as it does forward, like race car.
Right, race car, yeah.
A self-reciprocal polynomial is similar. If you reverse the order of its coefficients, it stays the same.
So you can't break these polynomials down, and they read the same backward as they do forward. That's a lot of rules to follow.
It is. It just goes to show how this seemingly simple problem, this arranging beads on a necklace, is actually connected to these pretty sophisticated math concepts.
I'm with you. And speaking of connections, this whole binary thing is making me think of computers, digital information, all that. Is there a connection there too?
You're on the right track. As 00000048, believe it or not, it also describes the size of certain error-correcting codes, specifically something called Varshamov Tenengolts codes. And these codes are absolutely essential in digital communication these days.
Error-correcting codes. That sounds important. Can you elaborate on those a bit?
Sure. So whenever you send digital information, whether you're texting a friend or downloading a movie, there's always a chance that errors can creep in. Bits can get flipped, signals get distorted, and data can get corrupted.
Yeah, makes sense. Things happen.
Error-correcting codes, they add a little bit of redundancy, a little bit of extra information to the original message, and that allows the receiver to detect and fix any of those errors.
So these Varshamov Tenengolts codes, whose size is determined by our necklace sequence, they're like the guardians of our digital messages, making sure they get through safe and sound.
That's a great way to put it. And it really is pretty amazing how this, abstract mathematical concept, this A00000048, has such a real-world impact on the reliability of our digital world.
This is seriously blowing my mind.
Yeah.
We started with necklaces, and now we're talking about the foundation of the internet. Where else did this rabbit hole lead?
Buckle up, because A000048 also shows up in the study of Boolean automata networks.
Boolean automata networks. You have to explain that one. Sounds pretty intense.
Basically, picture a network of interconnected switches. And each switch, it can either be on or off, represented by a 1 or a 0. Now, these switches, they interact based on a set of simple rules, and the entire network kind of evolves over time. These networks are used to model all sorts of complex systems, like how genes interact in our bodies, or even how information spreads in social networks.
So what you're saying is that AN00000048 somehow describes a property of these complex systems.
There you got it.
We started with something as basic as a necklace, and now we're talking about modeling the behavior of entire networks. Incredible.
It really is quite remarkable, and it shows how deeply interconnected different areas of mathematics can be.
I'm starting to get why this sequence is so special. A single sequence of numbers links together all these ideas from different fields, and it even has real-world applications that we rely on every day. It's like a secret code to understanding the universe.
That's a great way to put it. And really, we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to explore with A000048.
All right, well, I'm ready for more. Let's see where this sequence takes us.
Welcome back. I'm glad you're still with us for the next part of our deep dive into A000048.
Oh, I am hooked. This is incredible. I mean, who knew a simple sequence about necklaces could have all these mind-blowing connections? Every time I think we've hit the bottom of the rabbit hole, there's another twist.
Exactly. And there's another connection I want to talk about, one that takes us deeper into the world of number theory. It's all about something called the Mobius function.
Okay, Mobius function. That rings a bell faintly from my college days, but it's definitely a little foggy. Can you refresh my memory?
Think of the Mobius function. We denote it as Inkel, like a number detective, all right? It sifts through the clues that are hidden within the prime factorization of integers.
Prime factorization, right. So we're talking about breaking down a number into its prime building blocks.
Right.
12 is 2 by 2 by 3.
Exactly, you got it. So now, if a number has any repeated prime factors, like that 12 you just mentioned, the Mobius function, it labels it with a 0. It's really only interested in numbers with distinct prime factors.
So it's like the Mobius function is very, very picky, huh? Okay, so what happens when this function finds a number it likes?
Well, if that number has an odd number of distinct prime factors, for example, 30, which is 2 by 3 by 5, it gets tagged with a 1M1.
Okay, a 1M1 for odd. Got it.
But if it has an even number of distinct prime factors, take 10, which is 2 by 5, the Mobius function assigns it a 1.
All right, so it's sorting these numbers based on their prime factors. 0 for repeated factors, -1 for an odd number of distinct ones, and 1 for even. Okay, I'm starting to see the detective work here. But how does this connect to our necklace sequence, to those polynomials we were discussing?
This is where it gets really interesting. There's a formula that directly links the Mobius function to each term in our sequence, that A000048. It essentially tells us that we can calculate the nth term of the sequence by using a specific combination of Mobius function values applied to the divisors of n.
Okay, wait, slow down for a second. Let me make sure I'm following. So we're saying that the number of those unique necklaces we can make with n beads, that's somehow related to the prime factorization patterns of the divisors of n beads.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like there's this secret code in those prime numbers that's telling us how many necklaces we can make.
That's one way to think about it. And it really highlights how interconnected different areas of mathematics are. We have number theory, which deals with those integers and primes, and it's deeply connected to combinatorics, which is all about, counting and arranging objects.
This is mind-blowing. It's like you're uncovering this whole hidden network of relationships between all these seemingly random concepts. It makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding within the world of numbers.
Absolutely. And speaking of secrets, this connection to the Mobius function actually brings us to another really cool application of A00000048. We're stepping into the world of cryptography, specifically in the design of stream ciphers.
Cryptography. Now we're talking secret codes, cybersecurity. Okay, tell me more about how our necklace sequence is playing a role in all of this.
All right, so think of a stream cipher like a digital encryption engine. Its job is to generate a continuous stream of bits that seem totally random. These bits, they get combined with your message, the one you want to keep secret, and this scrambles it all up, making it unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the key.
Okay, so it's like creating a digital smokescreen to protect our sensitive information. I get it. But where does A00000048 fit into all of this?
Well, some types of stream ciphers use these mathematical structures called linear feedback shift registers, or LFSRs for short. These LFSRs, their job is to generate those sequences of bits, and how secure the whole cipher is depends heavily on how random and unpredictable those sequences are.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this. Our necklace sequence, A00000048, is somehow helping us analyze those LFSR sequences, right?
Precisely. Those terms in A000048, they give cryptographers valuable insight into the structure and behavior of those LFSRs, and this helps them design those encryption schemes that are more robust and secure.
It's amazing. I mean, the sequence just keeps popping up in the most unexpected places. It's like a mathematical Swiss Army knife, useful for everything from counting necklaces to protecting our digital secrets. I'm dying to know what other surprises are hiding in this sequence.
Well, let's shift gears from cryptography and talk about something called Linden words. These words, they're named after a mathematician, Roger Linden, and they have a unique property that ties back to our beloved necklace sequence.
Linden words. I have to admit, that's a new one for me. What makes them so special?
Let's say you have an alphabet, simple as A, B, C. A Linden word is a string of letters that's lexicographically smaller than all of its rotations.
Lexicographically smaller. So if we were talking about words in a dictionary, it would come first.
Exactly. Take the word cat, for example.
Yeah.
It's lexicographically smaller than Xterra and Nika because it would come first if you alphabetize them.
Okay, I see. So cat is a Linden word. But how does this connect back to our necklace sequence?
Here's the cool part. A 00000048 also counts the number of binary Linden words of a certain length that have an odd number of ones. It's like those unique necklaces are hiding within these special words.
Wow. It's amazing how these different concepts keep intertwining. It's like the same underlying pattern is just showing itself in these different forms across math.
It truly is. And there's another connection I want to point out, which brings us back to those error-correcting codes.
You mean those digital guardians that we were talking about earlier, the ones that keep our data safe? Tell me more.
Remember the Varshamov Tenengolts codes, the VT codes?
Yeah, the unsung heroes of the digital age, right? Making sure everything runs smoothly.
You got it. And guess what? A 000048 shows up here too. The nth term in our sequence, it actually matches up with the size of a specific VT code with certain parameters.
So the number of unique necklaces we can make within beads, it's dictating the size of an error-correcting code. This is mind-boggling. These connections just keep unfolding. It's like this whole mathematical tapestry woven together by a single sequence.
It really is remarkable. It just goes to show you the power of abstract math. We started with something as simple as necklaces, and now we've uncovered this well of knowledge that affects everything from the basics of number theory to keeping our digital world running.
This is hands down one of the most fascinating deep dives we've ever done. What other secrets does A00000048 hold? I need to know.
There's one final connection I'd love to explore, one that brings us full circle back to the elegance of math theorems.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. Lay it on me.
Okay, we're back, ready for the final part of our A000048 deep dive. This has been a wild ride. I mean, from those necklaces to cracking codes to even looking at how those complex systems work, it's been amazing. I can't wait to see what other mathematical treasures this sequence has hidden away. Well, let's tie it all together with a connection that really shows how elegant and powerful this sequence is. Remember how we started with that simple idea of counting those unique necklaces with N beads and 2 colors.
Of course. It seemed so simple back then. I had no idea. Those colorful little beads were the key to unlocking so many fascinating mathematical ideas. I mean, those rules about primitive periods, fixed orientation, interchangeable colors really took us on a journey.
They did. And here's the truly amazing part. That simple act of counting those necklaces, it directly connects to this really powerful mathematical tool called the Polya enumeration theorem.
The Pauli enumeration theorem. Okay, that sounds a little intimidating. Can you break it down for someone who's not exactly a math whiz?
Sure, imagine you have a set of objects, like R beads,
Okay, got it.
and you want to arrange them, but there's a twist. You have to
Huh.
consider symmetries. The Pauli enumeration theorem, it gives you a way to systematically count all those arrangements while taking those symmetries into account.
So it's like a super-powered counting tool. It helps us deal with patterns and arrangements, especially when we have to factor in things like rotations and reflections. It sounds incredibly useful, especially in fields like chemistry or physics, where symmetry is such a big deal.
Exactly. And, as you might have guessed, our necklace problem, it's a classic example of something you can solve using Pauli's theorem.
So are you saying that by applying this theorem to our necklaces, we actually end up back at the same sequence, A000048? It's like we've come full circle. We started with counting, and we've arrived at this powerful theorem.
Exactly. Pauli's theorem gives us that framework, to account for those rotations and reflections of our necklaces. And that leads us right back to A000048. It's this beautiful connection between combinatorics, that art of counting, and group theory, which studies those symmetry concepts.
This entire deep dive has been mind-blowing. It's like I'm seeing the interconnectedness of mathematics in a whole new light. I mean, we started with something as simple as putting beads on a string, and it's led us to this deep understanding of how different areas of math are all woven together.
And that's really what mathematical exploration is all about. Finding those hidden patterns, connecting those seemingly unrelated ideas, and appreciating just how elegant and powerful these abstract concepts are. I mean, who knew that a simple sequence about necklaces could be this beautiful and profound?
I know, right? I have to admit, when we first started talking about A00000048, I wasn't sure what to expect. Necklaces, how exciting can that be? But this has been an amazing journey. It's like we've peeled back layers and layers, uncovering more and more fascinating connections.
I'm so glad you've enjoyed it. It shows that there's always something new to learn in math, even in the most unexpected places.
A000048 is proof of that. It's like this gift that keeps on giving.
hmm
The more you look at it, the more connections you find.
That's a great point. And it's maybe the most important thing to take away from our deep dive. The pursuit of mathematical knowledge, it's a never-ending adventure. There are always surprises and always these incredible insights waiting to be discovered. Who knows what other fascinating sequences and connections are out there?
Absolutely. A big thank you to our expert for guiding us on this mathematical adventure. It's been a pleasure. And to all our listeners out there, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive as much as we have. Keep those minds curious, and we'll see you on our next adventure, exploring the world of numbers.